Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. It's Manchester United versus Huddersfield preview and a yo-ho-ho. I hope you're all having a very, very good Christmas time. I think Manchester United are going to have a very significant Boxing Day result. There's two things really controversial I want to talk about. More words from Gary Neville and something about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which I really think we need to consider in this moment of massive positivity. But that's not for 5 gold rings. That's for 5 losses for Huddersfield in a row. They are joint bottom of the Premier League. They've scored less goals than anybody in the league and they've conceded over 30 goals already. This is not a question of if we win this game of football. It's about how many we win it by. They will pot the bus. I was thinking about getting a Huddersfield fan on, but it's Christmas and that would be bullying. They have nothing to offer. There is nothing they can say. They cannot be confident. They cannot talk about what they can do. It realistically is a matter of how many goals Manchester United score. I think if José Mourinho was in charge, we would win this game of football. But with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge and United buzzing with confidence, and it's the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer homecoming as well, his first game as Manchester United manager at Old Trafford. It's, we could win this with a 5-a-side team against Huddersfield. The pump, the passion will be absolutely amazing. And we will win this game of football. And that is very, very significant because Arsenal and Chelsea both have got 2 away games coming up. I think Bournemouth at the weekend. I must just say this. I'm not diminishing Huddersfield in any way. They are rubbish. But Bournemouth at the weekend, I will not be saying, how many are we going to win by? Bournemouth are a good footballing side. Bournemouth will be a tough test for us. But Huddersfield, no. Now, anything can happen. Crystal Palace went and beat Man City. Leicester went and beat Chelsea. Of course, anything can happen. But realistically, it's not going to happen. You can tuck in to your turkey sandwiches tomorrow night, drink mulled wine, lemonade, whatever your persuasion, knowing that you're going to have a nice Boxing Day, elongate the Christmas festivities, because we will win, and we will win comfortably. The team predicts a team. I don't actually anticipate any changes, so I've actually kept the players in what I believe their average position will be. It's sort of a 3-4-1-2. Effectively, Shaw and Young will be playing very, very far forward. Jones and Lindelof will split. Matic will just patrol. Herrera will be close to him. Pogba will have freedom to roll. Lingard will come in off the right. Martial will cling to the left. And Rashford will do his business. And I think the great thing we're going to see at Old Trafford on Boxing Day at 3 o'clock is the first 10 minutes we will see what we haven't seen for 6 years. Wingers, fullbacks, bombing on, getting crosses into the box, and everybody who's in Old Trafford on Boxing Day, they'll be excited anyway, but their mind will automatically fall into this massive groove of this is what Manchester United's all about. We're going to get forward, we will create chances, and we've got to take them chances, and I think we will win the game. I think it's absolutely inevitable that Manchester United are going to win this game. We've got bigger tasks to come, but get the 3 points, probably keep a clean sheet, because I tell you what, De Gea is well past getting a clean sheet. Our goals against has been ridiculous this season, as we know. But yeah, comfortable. I really do. Somebody says, how are you watching the match? Yes, we are stuck back in that reality of 3 o'clock kickoffs not on the telly. Mad Marcus says, Merry Christmas to the United Stand community. As per usual, Mad Marcus is very premature, as his wife will tell you. I was going to do that at the end, but Marcus has decided to be a little bit premature with that. And yes, I have had a shave for Christmas. And yes, I agree. I do look about 19. Bit Alan Jones, maybe I should sing out with that. If anybody hasn't seen my Christmas song, are you hanging your stocking on the wall? 2 things. 1, I only did it for the laugh because you lot wanted me to. 2, I will not be putting it up on the United Stand YouTube channel. If you want to see it, it's at Mark Goldbridge. It's the pinned tweet. It's got backing music. It's slayed. It's there. It's Christmas. But let's talk about these controversial things first of all. I just want to say Gary Neville has probably divided United fan base over the last few days. He's took some right pelters. I always said I don't agree with what he said. I think he backed Mourinho for a long time, but I do respect him because he's got an opinion and he stands by it. I think Wayne Rooney surprised me. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Rooney, a legend on Saturday because he was on BT Sports, basically going in on Mourinho. But again, it's this, do they think we are stupid? Because Wayne Rooney, the articles are there over the last 3 months of him saying it's the players, not Mourinho. Mourinho's a great coach. Then on Saturday, he flips it round the other way. Have a bit of consistency, Wayne, because people aren't thick. They do remember. And at least Gary Neville is very consistent about what he said. And he's developed that on his podcast. He said that, look, there's a certain percentage of this current squad that didn't perform under Moyes. There's a certain percentage that didn't perform under Van Gaal, and there's a certain percentage that have been for all three managers. And are they good enough to be Manchester United players? And this is, I absolutely agree with him on this. This is absolutely what I've been saying. I said it yesterday. There are players in that club that we can all be really happy and go, yeah, it's the good times again. Roll back, it's Ollie, yeah, it's great, it's brilliant. But that won't last. Nobody's honeymoon lasts. You all got to come back to reality and go back to work. And the honeymoon period with Ollie, I think it will last, hopefully beyond the Newcastle game, and we'll take 12 points from 12. But, as you can see, you've got Phil Jones in a starting lineup for United. You've got Ashley Young, who should be called Ashley Old because he's not young. That's two players straight away that shouldn't be anywhere near Manchester United's future. They can be there at the present, Phil Jones can put in a good couple of performances. Ashley Young, he's the captain, but over the next 6 months, the next year, are you seriously telling me? I mean, Phil Jones will definitely be injured for the next 6 months at some point. Ashley Young will definitely get a year older. That we've got to look to move on, and I think that's what Gary Neville's talking about. We've got a very, very big squad of players that have definitely underperformed under José Mourinho, and Ollie will definitely get better out of them. But if we want to hit the heights that Manchester United are, and I spoke about this with Mourinho in the summer, I will never let him lower our expectations. He tried to, and he definitely lowered our status, but I never ever stood for the lowering of the expectations. Manchester United should be in the latter stages of the Champions League. Manchester United every year should be challenging for the title. I'm not demanding that we win it because we were spoilt under Sir Alex Ferguson, but we should be challenging, and we've not done that for 6 years. And Gary Neville's right. There is a percentage of that squad that's not good enough. And I tell you what, it's not as simple as just saying Phil Jones, Fellaini, Ashley Young, Valencia. It goes beyond that. You've actually got to start, and this is not. Well, as fans, we can discuss it. Charlie Davenport says Manchester United have put a £54 million bid in for Douglas Costa. I think that's a little bit old news, Charlie, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's more chance of Memphis. But no, Timothy says stop listening to Neville. He's a Jose Arslicker pundit. I respect people who have different opinions to me, and Gary Neville's definitely a Manchester United fan, but I do agree with him on this. You're not going to disagree with everybody. But yeah, what I was going to say is beyond the Phil Joneses, I think you've got to start looking higher than that. I think it's obvious that people like Phil Jones and Ashley Young need shipping out. But the point is that let's have a look at that team. Some people would say maybe Pereira needs to go. I would disagree, but some of you would. Some people don't think Herrera is good enough. And he's not signed a new contract. Some people think we've not got the best out of Mata. As good as he is, he's 30 now. Maybe he needs to go. Some people have even said that people like Jesse Lingard, bench player. We've all got opinion. Lukaku is another one. So I think United do need to be ruthless and aggressive. And I do agree with Gary Neville on that. If I do disagree with him about his stance with Jose Mourinho and David Moyes because he wanted them to stay. But that squad isn't good enough. It's not good enough, and that doesn't matter who your manager is. And we've got to be ruthless in relation to that. And that's what interests me the most, because I've seen this mentioned a couple of times now, that Ed Woodward's going to consult the senior Manchester United players about who the next Manchester United manager should be. And I think that is, Paul Pogba said yesterday morning, I've got a big announcement later on. And I thought he was going to announce a new contract. It wasn't. It was a new Paul Pogba emoji. And it's like, that's the world we're sort of living in. And it's not just exclusive to Paul Pogba, but that's the sort of world we're living in. You're going to consult these players on who the next Manchester United manager should be. And a lot of these players are just focused on themselves because that's the society and that's the football world that we've developed, with them being absolute brand managers as well as footballers. I don't think Ed Woodward should be consulting the senior players. And because some of them senior players may well be players that shouldn't be at the club. What if he consults Ashley Young because he's the captain? I don't think Ashley Young should be at the club anymore. And Ashley Young's going to have Ashley Young will be one of the players because he's the captain. He's one of the senior players. So Ed Woodward's going to ask Ashley Young who the next manager should be and listen to him. When a certain percentage of United fans would say, well, he's got no future at the club and actually he's not good enough. So Ed Woodward needs to get a director of football and speak to football people, not the players. The players will respond like they have done, but they should not be involved in who the next manager is going to be. That needs to be a footballing decision, and the players do need to, I would say, just be players for Manchester United. That's what their job is to do. They're not there to hire and fire managers, not at all. And the second thing I wanted to say was a very good point that I got emailed about, and I can't remember who said it, so I'm just going to make the name up and say that it was Sharon, So Sharon emailed me and said, we must also be careful about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's absolutely brilliant what he's done. He deserves a statue outside for, changing our attitudes just before Christmas and giving us something to smile about. But we must also be very careful that even if he has a very good 6 months, is it still worth giving him the job? And of which I said, when you think that, well, Tim Sherwood went to Spurs, had a very good 6 months, and then it went horribly wrong. Di Matteo went to Chelsea for a few months, won in the Champions League, and it went very wrong in the next season. So I suppose that's a bit of a warning thing, isn't it? Even if Solskjaer gets us top 4 and wins an FA Cup, what a great 6 months that is. But there is history showing you that the next season can still be hard. So maybe the club would still look at Pochettino and Zidane, which I know many of you think about that. But I just think it's very important that no matter what, we're all very realistic as a fan base. And I know you are, because Manchester United fans in the main are probably a bit like Liverpool fans. I hate to say it, but Liverpool fans, you've got a history. You know what your history is. You know what your club stands for. And you don't have the wool pulled over your eyes. And I think that's why we have the massive rivalry, because we basically are very, very similar. And, rivals crash, don't they? But I think we do need to be realistic. We do need to realise that we're in a honeymoon period at the moment. But long term, the honeymoon period will end, and we've got to look about what's best for us. Nothing would please me more than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being our manager long term. But we will have dips. He won't win every single game between now and May, and we will have dips, and we will have question marks about things, and it's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited about 2019. I'm very excited about the 2 games we've got left before as well. Byron Hall says, thanks for Christmas Eve show, Mark. Top man. Christmas Eve is the favourite day of my year. The only day that could top Christmas Eve for me is Marouane Fellaini signs for Everton. Or it doesn't even have to be Everton, anybody. Him leaving Manchester United for me could beat Christmas Eve. And people will say, "Oh, stop hating on Fellaini." Well, Fellaini's on my desk in front of me, but I do think that Fellaini is symbolic of United's problems over the last 6 years. I do think it's unfair that he's symbolic, because he's just a footballer who came to the club and he does give his all. But you look at the way we played on Saturday, you've got people saying Lukaku can't fit in. How does Fellaini fit into that? He's even worse than Lukaku. He's slow, he's got no passing range, he can't press, we don't play the ball in the air. I don't see what he brings to our club anymore, and he should be moved on. But that's the legacy of Mourinho. He begged him to stay in the summer. Nobody wanted him to stay other than Mourinho. 6 months later, Mourinho's gone, and we've got Fellaini on a big contract. Thanks for that, Jose. Another shit Christmas present. It's like opening up socks. Rubbish. But look, hopefully we just won't see him playing much, because I really do think that I don't believe in like superstitious things and everything like that, but actually Fellaini was the first signing after Sir Alex Ferguson, and ever since then our club's been under a cloud. And I think removing some of I think that goes back to what Gary Neville said. There are people in this squad who need to be moved out, and it doesn't matter if they're on long contracts or not. If they're not good enough, they're not good enough. And I really do think that needs to happen. But thanks for that contribution, Byron Hall. Look, some of you won't celebrate Christmas anyway, will you? So I don't want to just go all to town about Christmas. But I will be live at 8 o'clock tonight. And the reason I'm going to be live at 8 o'clock tonight is because we have got the Arsenal Fan TV versus the United Stand game going up at 6 o'clock tonight. I think it goes up at 6 o'clock tonight on Arsenal Fan TV. I think it's going to be a very interesting time after that. I think there's going to be some rubbish put out there. So I do want to be live for just 10-15 minutes to talk about United a little bit anyway on Christmas Eve. It's festive, have a bit of mulled wine, and just react to anything that may come out of that, because I think there's going to be some bullshit coming out. I think we might see a few stob stories, and I think we might see a few manipulations to try and twist it, and sympathy votes, and that's not going to happen. If you get Sergio Ramos, you take it, and that's basically what happened. My incident, I to be honest, I was just the dictator. I was the Michael Carrick, and I was the instigator for what happened in players being sent off, because the blood boiled, and I kept it down on I was shitting snowballs, as I say. But as I say, if you gob yourself off on football, you better do it against somebody who's less inexperienced than you are, because the opportunity came. The little lock on the arm, the takedown, the little dig, and the head went, and as I say, it's a significant head meltdown. Watch out for Rance. The headlock's very good, but no, looking forward to that as well. But in relation to Rance banger incoming as well, Carl, yeah, that's my aim in 2019. The next United Stand game, I want to get a goal better than Rance. I can do it. I think I can. But look, I'm going to give you a score prediction for the Huddersfield game as well. I'm going to go Manchester United 5-0. 5-0. I think we'll get an early goal again. I think Old Trafford is going to be absolutely rocking. Soph's going up to the game. Flex is going up to the game. Me and Rance were both going up to the game, but just, you know, the lateness of it. I've got a family commitment. He's got a family commitment. But there'll be plenty of games. I think I'm going to go up to the Reading game because that's when Mason Greenwood may be making his debut. So, look, you know, who would have said... This is ridiculous, right? You look at the league table, you look at the league fixtures, you all would have looked at the Christmas fixtures and gone, Cardiff and Huddersfield, the shittest couple of games of the whole season. They've actually become the most exciting games of the season. And that's it. Football, you never know with football what is going to get you going. I mean, there's people saying 6-0, 5-0, 3-0. You know, maybe we are being a little bit over optimistic, but it is Christmas. It's Christmas time. And I tell you what, you know when United are a danger again, when Arsenal fans start blabbing. And they're blabbing. They're like, oh, look at you, you're 8 points behind. Rah, rah, rah. And I just said, look, we've given you half a season start. Half a season start. Whose arse is twitching? Because ours ain't. If we don't finish in the top 5, we've got a ready-made excuse that Mourinho destroyed half our season. If you don't make top 4 and we nick it off you, what a major meltdown L that is. And you've got a new manager who apparently is better than sliced bread. So the pressure is on Arsenal. The pressure is on Chelsea. I think Spurs, Man City and Liverpool are going to, you know, do their own thing. And fair play to them. I think they are the 3 best teams in the league. But Chelsea and Arsenal, I don't see a massive difference from what we can achieve if these players continue with what they did against Cardiff. And I embrace that. I embrace the Champions League. I embrace the FA Cup. I wasn't interested in the FA Cup under Mourinho. We got all the way to the final last year and then didn't turn up. I think with this setup, that will never happen again. And I think we will lose games, but I think we'll lose games that we are more acceptable to. No one likes losing, but I think as long as the players try, then we will accept that. But it's United says De Gea with a hat-trick. You know what I want? I want Marcus Rashford up front. I want Marcus Rashford up front. I want Martial. I want Lingard. I want those 3 boys to start scoring loads of goals. I want them to score so many goals that Wayne Rooney's record starts to become an issue. I want Rashford to start banging in 30 goals a season. Every season. I want Marcus Rashford, the local lad who came through our youth setup, to break the Wayne Rooney goal record. That's what I want. That's what I want. And for the last 2 years, I thought he's not going to do it. He's not getting developed. He's been put out on the wing. I now see under Ollie, he knows. Ollie knows his stuff. He's a striker. I've always said Rashford's a striker. He needs to get his head up. Sometimes his head's down. He closes his eyes on crosses for headers. And his finishing does need to be better. But he's definitely a striker. He's not a winger. He's a striker. And I think Solskjaer will get the best out of him. And if he starts banging goals in for United, I can talk about Icardi. I can talk about other strikers. But Rashford can be that player. I want him up front. I want him scoring goals. I want him to break that Rooney record. That's what United's all about. It's a big ask, but let's go for it. Let's go for it. Please do drop a like on the video, everybody. I will be live with you at 8 o'clock for a few minutes tonight. And then, obviously, it's Christmas. So if you want to join us for a little drink later, that would be fantastic. But this is the Manchester United versus Huddersfield preview. If you missed our Christmas special last night, go through to the homepage. Me, Rance and Sophie. It was a very, very good show. If you're a little bit bored of repeats, because there's some right shit on the telly this afternoon, get on the Christmas special, watch that. I don't know now, says, where do you think Sanchez would play? I don't know now. But look, I'm excited. Sanchez can work his way into the team. I think we've got 4 players there. Lingard, Sanchez, Lingard, Sanchez, Rashford, Martial. 3 spots. That's what you want. You want a bit of competition. Let's get Chong involved. Let's get Greenman involved. And Stephen Featley says, as a gooner, I'm hoping to battle Manchester United for the top 4. I hope it happens as well. I really do. And Merry Christmas, mate, even though you support Arsenal. Andrew Rossi, if we don't make the top 4, we will be the squad nobody wants to play in 2009. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you, Andrew, and Merry Christmas to you all. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are. I shall see you at 8 o'clock live for a little bit more, but enjoy your Christmas Eve afternoon. Enjoy it with your friends, your family, or even if you're just playing a bit of FIFA or you're going for a walk, whatever you're doing, enjoy it. I'll see you all at 8. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and give us your score predictions and your thoughts below.